Hello folks, and welcome to yet another powerful episode of the Audiophile Man. And what have we got for you this time around? Well, we have an amplifier, but not any old amplifier. Oh no, we have a power amplifier. From IOTAVX, we have the PA40 Power Amplifier. This one is priced at, I have two prices, €799. And I haven't got an official pounds price. It kind of works out at around 688 in pound terms. And if you want to buy one of these, you buy direct from the website. I'll put a link below. Pushing out 150 watts into 8 ohms as a Class A/B design, the IOTAVX PA40 Power Amplifier is presented in a box, quite a large box, spanning 435mm by 133 by 315mm, including the feet, with a weight of, well, it's rather hefty, 9.6 kilograms, and a 2-year warranty to boot. Inside is a large toroidal transformer to provide low noise and stable power, says the company, but we'll see about that. Around the front is a chunky square power button and a speaker select rotary knob, because you can select, or rather you can hook up, 2 pairs of speakers to this box. Around the back are sockets to connect to a preamplifier. Thank goodness for that. Those 2 banks of speaker sockets I mentioned, a rec out pair of sockets, which is very nice to see on a power amplifier and can be used to hook up to a suitable recording device. There are 2 sets of balanced inputs as well. This amplifier can also work in stereo or bridged mode. Finally, we have a rocker power switch right next to an IEC power socket, and that's basically it in tech terms. This is one simple and to the point product. Question is, how does it sound? Well, let's have a little listen. In software terms, I dragged out my China Crisis CD, their debut album, Difficult Shapes and Passive Rhythms, all the way back to 1982, and the tracks Christian, Are We a Worker, and Red Sails, which enabled me to monitor both low and high frequencies. Now, the most obvious first test here is to use the power amplifier to possibly upgrade the company's own integrated amplifier, the IOTAVX SA40. This is a box I reviewed on this channel only a few weeks ago. I'll put a link above. Now, I reminded myself of the personality of the SA40, and I recalled the good bass response, the precision in the upper mids, and the low noise around the treble, plus the clarity of the mid-range detail. There wasn't a lot wrong with the sound from this box. Thus, the PA40, well, it was going to have to work to enhance the delivery of the integrated amplifier. And did it? Oh my goodness, yes it did. Put it this way, listening to the PA40 hooked up to the SA40 after, 15 seconds of play? Well, I had to pause the music because I had a heap of things to say about the differences and the improvements of the music delivery as a whole. I made some notes. First, high frequency noise had fallen a lot, so the output sounded confident and sure of itself, while the bass, because of that lower noise floor, was both firmer and better structured. Tonally, the bass was more realistic now. In addition, the stereo image was now better centered. It was actually nailed dead center, instead of ever so slightly wavering, which is what I heard before. The bass guitar, which sat right at the bottom of the frequency range, could now be easily followed. The ride cymbal on the left channel was now pushed slightly forward in the mix, which gave it more space to work in, enhancing its detail. Those early era synths sounded rather smoother now, while there was much more reverb in the back of the mix, adding space and air right across the soundstage. Really, I could have written 4 sides of A4 on the improvements. As such, if you have an SA40 or you are planning to buy an SA40 integrated amplifier, I would strongly consider an upgrade for the future or when funds allow to the PA40 Power Amplifier. But look, the PA40 is not only available to upgrade IOTAVX products, it can be fitted to other hi-fi kit too. Now, I was fortunate to still have the Audiolab 6000A Mk.II integrated amplifier in my office. So I thought, why not hook the PA40 to it? Might be interesting. So, question, did the PA40 successfully upgrade the 6000A Mk.II? Good golly, Miss Molly, yes it did. Very much so, in fact. One of the headline features of the Mk.II is the bass. I went on and on and on about it in the recent review, and again link above. But hooking up the P40 to the Mk.II, well, it kind of made me think that the original integrated amp's bass was a little narrow, a little bit claustrophobic. Why? Well, the PA40 really opened up the bass on the 6000 Mk.II. It pushed the bass left and right. It pushed air into it, giving the bass a fresh delivery while spreading that bass right across the soundstage. There was a strumming rhythm guitar in the mix here, and that sounded more, how can I put this, twangier, maybe? Twangier? I think I'd say that. There was really more metallic bounce from this instrument now. It sounded livelier too, as if the player was more enthusiastic about what he was doing. The obvious lowering of the noise increased the reverb, providing greater sense of air and space, again, right across the soundstage. And instrumental separation, what I mean by that, the sense of space in between each and every instrument, well, that was improved as well, and that meant that more detail could be heard wherever you decided to point your ears. Finally, and very briefly, I wanted to hear how the PA40 would perform in a dedicated separates system. So I connected it to my Music First preamplifier, and I compared it to the much more expensive and Class A infused Valvet A1R monoblocks. And I used vinyl as a source and a little bit of Peggy Lee's Crazy in the Heart original pressing LP. And I was pleasantly surprised at how well the PA40 performed. Sure, the more expensive Valvets, well, they did provide lower noise and more space around the soundstage, but hey, they are monoblocks after all. Even so, the PA40 did not run as hot as the Valvets, and the difference in sound wasn't as large as I predicted, making the PA40 excellent value for money for any system populated purely with separate components. And that, folks, is basically the review of the IOTAVX PA40 Power Amplifier. Let me give you a few final thoughts. I'll then give you some pros and cons and a rating. It's a bit of a cliche, I know, but there are certain hardware upgrades out there where you really feel that you've got to listen to your entire music collection all over again. Such is the measure of the improvement in sonic terms. The sense of, I wonder what improvements I will hear with this one, as you pick out another piece of vinyl or CD. That is palpable with the PA40. Now, of course, this power amplifier would work well with any dedicated preamplifier, but it's also a wonderful upgrade opportunity for any integrated amplifier that features the necessary sockets. As such, I have no problem highly recommending the PA40. Sometimes in hi-fi, there are no-brainer components. You add them to your system without a thought because you know they will do a job. The PA40 is one of those boxes. And that's a lot, folks. Thanks for staying to the end of this particular video. Down below, can you click on the like and subscribe buttons, please, just to help this channel, you know, the algorithm thing. And down below also, I'll put some more links to the PA40, of course, my own links. If you can help me on Patreon, it will help this channel. Any support given funds this particular channel. And what else have we got? We've got my website, and there's all kinds of stuff over there you won't see here, because the website's been going a lot longer than this channel. Also, my Facebook group, which you're welcome to join. I will be back on either Friday with some musicy thing, or if not, I'll be here on Saturday with some hi-fi news, etc. I hope to have your company until, probably until, actually. Until then, until then, folks. Hey, until then, bye bye for now.